Rob Schneider, comedian from Saturday Night Live, had a great joke yesterday. He said, this is the most important election in your lifetime until the next election. Guys, stop feeding into the bullshit. Every election's the same. Every politician's the same. Every single time it's not, and you're going to look at this going, oh my God, this guy doesn't get it. There's so many important things. This is the future of our country. Okay, go look back at the articles from 2020, 2018, 16, 14, 12, 10, every single time. It's the most important election of your lifetime. California is trying to get 16 and 17-year-olds on the ballot. Gee, I wonder why that is. Because, this is the future and they're the most impressionable in the world. Listen, you give me access to a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds, I'll make them libertarians in about 4 seconds, right? It's very easy. But the election has repercussions theoretically. But I'm going to let you guys in a little secret. Come in closer. There's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. It's all the same garbage. They're all people that are trying to support their own agendas. They don't care about you. They really don't. And of course, you're going to sit there and say, no, my guy cares. No, he doesn't. My lady cares. AOC does not give an F about you or your family. She doesn't give an F about her ideals because her ideas, she doesn't act with them in her regular life. She doesn't live her life the way she says that everybody should live theirs. The same with Herschel Walker. The guy's pro-life and has allegations of paying for 2 abortions. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. What did Herschel Walker say about the environment? He said something about global warming, that the bad clouds are coming from China and we have to blow them back out or something like that. I mean, go look it up. It's absolutely insane what he said early this year about global warming and bad air and pollution. The point is, guys, they're all the same. I give credit to the Libertarian Party candidate in Georgia who's getting 2% of the vote and causing a runoff, and that's exactly what needs to happen. This is why elections do matter, and this is why voting Libertarian does make things better. Why? Because now he's going to force these two to go to another election. So I give credit. I don't even know the guy's name, but I give credit to him for getting 2% of the vote. Nice job out there. You might sit there and say, you don't even know the guy's name. I don't. And part of me doesn't want the Libertarian Party to become super popular because that means they're going to start becoming like the Republicans and Democrats. Probably. So what does this mean for the economy? Well, guys, I'm going to tell you something, another little secret. Biden's going to do the exact same things Trump does. Trump did the exact same things Obama did. Obama did the exact same things Bush did. Bush did the exact same things Clinton did. Are you seeing a pattern here? It's no different. And you know when I realized this? This is the first time I realized this. I was a fan of George W. Bush back in the early 2000s. And I remember every teacher hating him. And I remember seeing myself like, why do they hate him? He literally had at the time, I believe it was one of the largest increases in Department of Education spending in history. And I was like, oh boy, we don't get it here. I didn't get it. And I'm now finally starting to get it. So what does it mean for your money? Guys, at the end of the day, this is what matters for the stock market right here. Our stock market to GDP ratio, and it's currently 60% overvalued. And that says that for the future, next 10 years, we're probably gonna get a negative return, not including dividends. That's what matters. The rest of it's all junk. If any president like Trump tries to take credit for the stock market, he's stupid for saying it, and you're not the brightest if you believed it. It's not true. It is not true at all. When people give credit to Obama for his stock market, I'm like, he literally came in at like the lowest, like literally 2 months before the lowest time at that point in like 15. Come on, give me a break. It has nothing to do with them. Do they have tax policy issues, things like that? Can affect things? Sure. But every single person in Congress wants to get more money to their constituents, whether they're Republican or Democrat. And every single person in Congress wants to save taxes for themselves, whether they're Republican or Democrat. John Edwards was all in favor of increasing taxes on Social Security, yet he was doing the same thing, going into S Corps, putting money into S Corps to avoid a lot of income taxes along the way and payroll taxes. Hypocrisy. Absolute hypocrisy. And that's what happens here. That's absolutely what happens here. And that's why I don't worry, because I love the fact that Nancy Pelosi is worth hundreds of millions of dollars because she's going to go look after herself, which looks after me. I'm glad. Thank you very much, Nancy. I appreciate you being in San Francisco and telling everybody what they want to hear, and everybody out there with your man buns and your no using deodorant and all that stuff is going to do great. I love you guys because you believe that Nancy Pelosi is looking after you. She's looking after her hundreds of millions of dollars. just like you would if you had hundreds of $millions. Just like the guy who just won $2 billion in the Powerball in California. He is definitely going to be looking after himself when it comes to taxes. Tim is laughing right now because it's, guys, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. Don't think of me like, oh, Paul doesn't get it. I'm sorry. If you don't know who the sucker at the table is, you're the sucker. And that's what I really believe about politics. By the way, I love election night. I sat there. Lisa, my fiance, was teasing me. She's like, are you really going to go home and watch the election? I'm like, Lisa, the only better night than midterm elections is presidential election night. Keep in mind, I did not vote yesterday. I did not vote at all. I only vote in presidential elections, and I basically vote for as many libertarians as I can. All right. I support the Libertarian Party. And one of my goals for this channel is that we grow so big that in 2024, I can bring the Libertarian Party candidate here to get such a big voice. Because I do believe the Libertarian Party has things that both sides of the aisle like. And they're not right-wing nut jobs at all. In fact, I believe there was a former Democrat running as a Libertarian in yesterday's election. It's not just a bunch of right-wing nut jobs. It's people who just believe in freedom. And in the meantime, I believe that my actions and my decisions based on things like this are gonna sit there and do for the future. And if I want to help people, I help people. And I do help people. And Tim helps people. And we all help people because we want to, not because somebody forced us to. And if it takes somebody forcing you, or if you believe that you have to force me to help others, that says more about you than it does about me. It means that's the way you view the world, that you're not going to help anybody unless you're forced to. We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. All right. Now, what's going to happen? I don't know. First off, red wave didn't happen. Sorry, guys. So for all you Trump supporters who thought he was going to come in, and I mean, listen, this is probably the worst prediction I'm ever going to make. I just don't think Trump is going to get the nomination in 2024. Do you think he will, Tim? I think it's going to be DeSantis. I mean, he crushed yesterday. DeSantis crushed, and DeSantis went around the country for other Republicans, and the Republican Party loved it. I think he's going to absolutely win the nomination. I mean, I shouldn't say absolutely, but to me, I'm favoring. If I were a betting man, I'd bet on DeSantis getting the nomination. Now, who knows what happens? All I know, guys, is for you personally, when it comes to money, when it comes to crypto, when it comes to investing, what matters in the long run? Valuations. Spoiler alert, FTX is done. That makes me so happy. I'm sorry to everybody who lost money in it, but guys, it's only going to get worse from here. It's only going to get worse from here. The only thing I'm upset with is I exited my Coinbase short 2 days ago, and Coinbase is now down. Look at how much Coinbase is down in 2 days. I exited the short because it was doing well, and I wanted to take some profit. Now look at Coinbase. I exited here at $60 essentially, $58. It's currently at 46. Whoops. But I made good money. I just thought I should have re-entered it. I had a Tesla short. I have a Tesla short going on through, by the way, I'm not doing the short, a direct short. I'm doing calls. I'm selling calls at higher prices. That's how I'm shorting. So I'm not doing a direct short. So guys, if you've liked this so far, if you stayed along so far, this is how I act. I just got a message on Instagram yesterday. By the way, follow me on Instagram. I just got a message on Instagram yesterday where somebody wrote, I want Angry Paul back. Where's Angry Paul? I'm like, don't worry, he'll come out. Guys, I just think crypto is just a farce in its current form. And am I open to the fact that it could be something different? Sure, but it's going to take some major government body to endorse and support crypto. And at that point, what's the purpose? Because the whole point of crypto is to be a decentralized way of paying for things, not run by a government. So it defeats the whole purpose. That's the problem. What's behind crypto? A bunch of pimply 17-year-old kids, a bunch of guys who were worth $14 billion the day before, and now are worth 900, which I'm still surprised is worth 900 million, to be honest with you. And the company that bought them, I don't know what's going on with them. They seem more conservative, but I was joking around with somebody the other day. I was watching the Cavs play the Lakers at Crypto.com Arena, and I put in a group chat, I wonder when Crypto.com Arena is going to get a name change. And somebody wrote, well, they already paid for the rights. I'm like, no, they pay as they go along, I believe. It's not all up front. I'm pretty sure, by the way, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming it wasn't all up front. And at some point when they stop paying for that thing, there's going to be a problem. Look at Disney, guys. Look at Disney in the markets. Disney's down 12% today. It is almost at the price it was at the COVID low. It hit like $85 in the COVID low. So it means one of two things. Either Disney is a screaming buy, or it was still overpriced here. I don't know. We'll see. I sold puts on Disney at much lower prices today. I took advantage of this volatility, 12% down. I wrote puts at 60 and 65 bucks. And I'm willing to start buying it at probably a little bit higher than that, and 70, but much shorter term. So I want to start buying it at those prices and just watch its way down and keep buying as it goes down. Because I believe Disney is a company that's going to be around for a very, very long time. And if I can buy it for lower than 70, I'm probably going to do very well over a long period of time. Disney also hit a high of 203 just a year and 9 months ago. Not 9 months ago, 8 months ago. A year and 8 months ago. 20 months ago, it was 203. Okay. And it's going to keep, and I didn't think it was worth 200. I said it was worth 80, 85 for a while. Okay. I could be wrong. And guess what? When I start buying it at 70, it could go to 40, it could go to 50. I don't know where it's going to go. But all I know is if I can start buying it below 70, I'm probably going to do pretty well in my Disney investment over long periods of time. Meta just announced 11,000 jobs. You see how many companies are now announcing job cuts, major corporations? Now, you might sit there and say, this is the first round for Meta, 11,000 jobs. So this week, in the last week, Twitter and Meta have announced basically 15,000 jobs gone. You might sit there and say, well, it's only 15,000 jobs. It's the crack. It's the start. The 2 and 10-year interest rates are still inverted. So these are part of the things that have to go on. And if you believe a politician's there to save you, guys, you don't believe that. Because if you believe that, you wouldn't be watching this channel right now. If you believe somebody else is going to save you, you would not be watching this video on this channel. And that's what I commend you for. Because people who want to learn and people who watch these videos are not people who need somebody else to save them. So subscribe to the channel. It's the least you can do. I do 2 or 3 videos a day with Mo. We talk about all forms of investing, real estate, this kind of stuff. We do updates on news. It's a lot of fun. I sometimes yell and scream at people, so it's a good time. So thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel.